What are some of the unexpected challenges that startups face with a model that relies heavily on the distribution of money online? What are some of the unexpected challenges that startups face that rely heavily on online donations or online transactions? Well, there are a lot of challenges. Hope Mob, leading and guiding Hope Mob has been amazingly difficult. And, the challenge is, when we tweet in Facebook, I've said this for years, we rarely tweet the bad news. And so we tweet the good news. We tweet when a story is funded, or we tweet when a grant comes through. But I have found leading Hope Mob to be one of the most difficult things I've ever done in my life. I've met with hundreds, literally hundreds of people talking about money, asking for money, trying to raise money, and have literally only had a few of them really respond to help us with our operations. And so it is difficult. I would say two things. If you are, particularly if you're a charity or you're a social good business, I would say two primary points that I think will really help you be sustainable. First is don't rely exclusively on kind of the tip model or taking a percentage of donations to support your business. I think the most successful charities and social good businesses have several streams of revenue that help them. And the question was particularly about how do businesses who rely on online transactions succeed? Well, Charity Water, again, is a great example, and Hope Mob is too. And we really, we model so much of what we do on Charity Water. But Hope Mob's entire budget can't come from the percentage that we get. Like when you check out at Hope Mob, 100% of what you give goes to the charity, and you can choose for a percentage of that to go to the operations or not. And that only covers a percentage of our budget. So we have to constantly be looking for other streams of revenue. So I've interviewed for fellowships, for grants. We talk with small donors and large donors. And so the point there is to make sure that you have multiple streams of revenue. And if you don't, and you only rely on too heavily on one stream of revenue, you'll really jam yourself up. And so if you rely just on grants, what happens when there's a new administration and your grant ends? Or if you rely too much on a donor, but that donor only wants to give for 1 year and not 3, you can be in a real challenge. But the second bigger picture that I want to say is it's always going to be hard. I've never met a leader of a charity. All of my favorite charities, all their leaders will tell you that their work is amazingly difficult. They are always having to raise money. They're always fighting to figure out new ways to be innovative, to pivot, to shift when society changes. And so you see online though, and you may follow your favorite charity leaders on Twitter, and we don't always tweet about that. But I know just from my personal experiences and interactions with charities that have been way more successful than Hope Mob, and just from my own life experience, that it's hard and it's always going to be hard. And what helps me get through it being hard is just accepting that. And I think what happens is a lot of people launch charities and they find it's brutally difficult, just like starting a business is brutally difficult, and they think that something's wrong with them. And it's not that anything is wrong with you, it's just really hard work. Starting a charity it makes you a social entrepreneur, and entrepreneurship is extremely difficult. I mean, there are so many forces and pressures against you. So just stick it out. And, I would say always be willing to reach out to charity leaders that you admire and ask them if they can give you advice or tips, and see if there are even some groups that you can be a part of to help keep you encouraged.